Lads, as always, the podcast is sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped just released the Weed Whacker nose and ear. What? Manscaped just released the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. That's a fucking mouthful. Take a look in the mirror and I guarantee you'll see hair sticking out of those holes. It's time to keep your ear and nose hair looking as nice as your clean shaven pubes, man. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below the waist grooming needs. Yeah, the nostril and ear hair has always been a bit of a weird one, I suppose. You kind of don't really know, should you go there, should you not? But I find when you trim the nose, not as much kind of, let's be honest, snot gets caught up in it, and it's just kind of easier to blow your nose and shit. So why the fuck not? And especially for me as a painter, sometimes I could be like doing a lot of, like, you fill up the wall and you're sanding it, and a lot of the sand could get like stuck in your nostrils, and then you blow your nose and it's all fucking white shit. What? White shit, what? Go on. Nothing to do with the painting, says you. But anyway, I think with a hairless nose, it's just easier, and that's what the Weed Whacker does. So get onto manscaped.com, use the code CANS20 for 20% off the whole range, the Weed Whacker, the Lawnmower 3.0, everything. CANS20 for 20% off plus free shipping. A dose of only cans, that's your only man. So sit back, relax, that's the only plan. Grab yourself a Guinness or Peroni, man. Welcome to the show, this is Only Cans. Cheers! Alright lads, welcome back to Only Cans. This will be the last episode of Only Cans for a while. Probably seems a bit abrupt from me, but main reason being that, like, doing them over Zoom, it just doesn't, I want it to be, I'm sitting with a guest, having the crack, having a few cans or whatever it is, or even if it was in a pub, and doing it over Zoom just doesn't cut the mustard for my liking. Like this episode with Paddy, I definitely enjoyed because I know Paddy, we had the crack, but like we're fucking in different countries, drinking cans, whatever. It's just not doing it for me, and I'm enjoying talking to the guests, but yeah, I've got to be honest, it's just not, like I said, not cutting the mustard. It's not at the standard I want it to be, and I'm gonna just put it on the back burner until I can get people in person, and even possibly move away from the podcast, but I'm not really sure. Like, I'd like the idea of getting guests, like I used to do at the start of Guinness Guru, getting guests, having a pint with them, rating the pints, stuff like that, and just like a quick 10-15 minutes instead of a big drawn out interview. But yeah, look, I'm obviously learning as we go, and once the pubs open, we're kind of getting stuff ready for that as well, and merch and stuff like that, so kind of busy with that stuff. But like, I'm not going to sit here and say the main reason I'm stopping the podcast for now is because I'm too busy. It's not. It's just not where I want it to be in terms of like doing it over Zoom, and yeah, just not happy with the standard of it. And again, that's nothing against any of the guests. It's as good as it could be with guests over Zoom, but yeah, that's just how it is, lads. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy this one. I genuinely enjoyed this. I know Paddy well. We go back a few years. He's from not far from me. He's from not far from me. We know each other. Funnily enough, I used to get mistaken for him a bit around Ashburn because he's like the same height as me. We're both like fucking 6'6", 6'7", black hair, tall, dark and handsome. So yeah, kind of funny.
Do you want me to get my can of Guinness? No, or a bottle of Guinness there?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Are we ready to go now?
Well, I'm fucking ready since half an hour ago.
Oh God.
The fucking glass was in the freezer.
What? No, I didn't cheat at all.
It was. Not cheating. It's good move. You just bought those. Did you just buy those bottles warm?
I just went into the bottle shop here, and I was like, "Can I have a four?" They do cans of Guinness 440 over here, 440 mil, and they'd none of them, and they had stout in a bottle, 330 ml bottles of stout. I was
Right.
like, I'm not drinking that. And then there was 750.
What the fuck? But were they warm and you had to just fire them in the freezer there? Or were they in the
Oh no,
fridge?
they were in the fridge. I just threw it in the freezer just to get it a bit colder. So
Have you had that
no,
before?
no.
It's fucking rotten.
Here, here we go.
And I'm on the fucking Beamish, which is even worse. And I've been sitting here. This pint's been sitting here since about 10 to, and it's fucking 35 now. So this is tasting like absolute mold. We'll have to get the Paddy O'Rourke review now on the extra stout. Size of that bottle, 750 ml.
You were right. It is cat.
Strong stuff, that.
Oh Jesus, it's rotten.
there's no two ways about it, lad. It's fucking piss. I now welcome onto Only Cans, a bit of a polarizing figure of the GAA world, some might say. Hailing from Screen, most people will be saying, where the fuck is that? He was a dominant figure on the club and county scene. He spent nearly a decade between the sticks for Meath and represented Ireland in the international rules in 2013 and 2014. His name is synonymous with Guinness Guru history as one of my guest reviewers back in 2019, but it was his local, so the score didn't really count. And for the last year, he's been living it up in Sydney, Australia. Lads, it's my good pal, Paddy O'Rourke. All right, Paddy.
Hello, Guru.
What's the crack? So
good, yeah.
we're doing this at, what is it, 9:30 there? It's fucking 12:30 here.
9:30 at night here on Sunday night. So it's bank holiday, May bank holiday back home, midday around
It
you.
is. So I'm starting early, midday pints of fucking Beamish for the Guru. So can't complain. Paddy, obviously you're in Australia. We had to
stuff.
Yeah. The Guinness extra stout. And the hardcore Guinness people will be like, oh, you just have to grow and like it. No, it's fucking rotten. But anyway, let's talk a bit about drinking, Paddy. International rules 2013, 2014. You were kind of 24, 25, good prime fucking drinking age. 2014 was in Perth, wasn't it?
We played in Perth, yeah.
And like, how long were you in Australia? And like, I'd love to know, like, was it taken as seriously as sort of like, say, if you were doing an inter-county sort of trip, or was there like sneaky pints being had, or like what was the general sort of vibe?
Yeah, I was a bit green on that. My first trip abroad with them, and there was a good few lads had been playing.
What do you mean a bit green?
A green banana I just wasn't ripe.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was a bit young, like a bit green, a bit young.
Okay.
So yeah, some of the boys had played maybe 2008 over here, 2011 was over here, and then 2013 was in Ireland, and then this was the return trip, 2014. So
yeah,
they kind of had a gist of what the trip would entail and the crack involved and whatnot. So we met up in the Crow Park Hotel, let's say on a Wednesday, trained in Crow Park on the Wednesday night, and then the next morning we were on a flight then Thursday morning out to Australia. Flew to Melbourne first, got into Melbourne and stayed there for 5 days, did a bit of training, and then we played. Like it's kind of like the second tier of AFL over here, where there could be like 55 lads on an AFL squad over here, and the second team, the reserve team, would play in a competition called the VFL. So we played a VFL.
It's like the Lions tour where they play the kind of midweek games and stuff to get kind of warmed up. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we played a VFL combination down in a place called Sandringham, just outside Melbourne. We played them on the Sunday. And then we were flying to Perth on the Tuesday to prepare for the game on the Saturday. So we played on the Sunday out here, and literally as soon as the game was over, we had a function with the opposition team, and then that was it. Brought back to the hotel, and a bus was waiting, and we were heading into PJ O'Brien's in Melbourne. So this was
what I like to hear.
6 days. Yeah, 6 days before we played the Aussies up in Perth.
And were you kind of going like, Jesus, this is a bit mad. And the rest of the lads knew the crack, or you just were going along with it, like?
Oh, you're just going along with it. Oh, great, sure. A bit of bonding, you know.
Yeah, a bit of
just
bonding.
jump on the bus, get going. But it just turned into like the mother and father of a session. Like it was
Fucking right.
Yeah. It was down. PJ O'Brien's is in South Bank in Melbourne City, and about 200 meters from there is Crown Casino, which is 24 hours, pubs, nightclubs,
Job.
poker machine, everything you want. So
Yeah.
roll from there into Crown, back to the hotel, and then like that, because we were representing who we were representing the next morning, we had to be seen to be training, we had to be seen to be doing something.
Oh, here.
Exactly. The bus pulled out of the hotel at like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. We went down to St. Kilda Beach, and there's St. Kilda Baths, so there's swimming pools, hot tubs, and that right on the coast, and then
Right.
out onto the beach, into the sea, back in. So we did that for the guts of about 2 hours, just trying to come to, and then that was it. Onwards and upwards, then up to Perth, then midweek for the game on the Saturday. But yeah, it was an eye opener. It was kind of like, this is it. Get to know everybody, because in six days time you'll be called upon them to play against these Aussies, and they're going to bounce you off the ground. So
yeah,
it was it was good. It was good crack. It was good fun.
And so you were there for what? 3? There's two tests. So you were there for, it was what?
There was only one.
There was only one.
There was only one game in 14. Yeah, we only played one game, so we were there for 12 days in total.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
Yes, it was kind of a case of they were trying to basically salvage the series, because the year before we played an Indigenous selection.
Hammered them. Fucking 170 to like 75 or something, wasn't it? On aggregate.
We played them in Cavan the first week, and like it was mad. Like, you know, you're in Cavan, you're in the Imperial in Cavan, and there's 50 Indigenous Australians running around the nightclub in Australian suits.
Yeah.
And a gang of Cavan women running after them.
Job.
But it was good crack. And then back to Crow Park the week after to play them, and we beat the crap out of them up there.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was onwards and upwards from
there. So you had the session after the kind of warm-up game, and then you had the match, and I presume there was a session after that, and then you were home in a couple of days.
Home in about is this? Hold on there now. You have to edit this.
What are you at now?
I'm trying to charge my phone.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on. I think that's, it looks like it's all right. Do you want to cut out that, or do you want to?
There's no cuts, Paddy.
What? Oh, deadly. I need a sub here.
Fucking sup away, lad. Jeez, I can edit it, whatever, but I don't really. You're just al natural.
Au natural, yes.
Calm down. Drink your fucking fizzy piss there.
That's exactly what it is.
What's the review? What's the out of 10?
Yeah. You'd be struggling to give that 2.
I think I did a review on it when I was bored out of my hole last year, just trying to make videos. I'd say I think I gave it like literally a 2 or a 3, and then just comments saying, "Oh, you're just fucking having a clue about Guinness. I drink that all the time." It's like, good luck to you drinking that. It's absolutely disgusting.
Imagine someone drinking that and actually getting a decent pint of Guinness, what they'd think.
I know,
be wasted on them. It'd be wasted on them. Like, oh, that for shtick.
It might as well be a pint of fucking Coke.
If you put a pint of Coke and then put fairy liquid on top of that and give it a shake, that's exactly what it is. It's
very true. Paddy, random question. Do you have a hangover cure?
Out here, funnily enough, I go for coconut water.
You've gotten fancy on us, Paddy. Sad to see it. Another man lost.
Another man lost to down here. Yeah, it's usually the hangover cure back home with any of the lads I would have grown up with was more
pints.
like Monday Club. two cans of Bulmers get you going, and then you're back on it for the rest of the day.
And what, coconut water, and you probably get up and do some fucking yoga and stretching and coconut water and
That'd be after
meditation.
sunrise swim, sunrise swim, and then you'd have your eggs Benny on the beach, and that'd be it then.
And would you have any? Because I ask everyone who comes on, like in terms of hangover cure, like not just lying in bed dying all day. Do you know, if you actually need to get up and go somewhere, like what would you have a go to? And I mean, you're not going to the pub, like get up and go somewhere, like for work or something. Would you have ever had? I'm sure you've been hungover in work and hungover at training plenty of times, Paddy. Let's not fucking lie. Like, did you ever have any sort of a right? I'll have I don't know, orange juice or fucking this or that. Does that come to mind?
Probably, yeah. I'd say orange juice and white toast with just butter would have been probably just something to get into your stomach to get a bit of soaking
Yeah,
going. But coffee was always a good one.
yeah. And
And if I was going into work, it'd be a packet of cheese and onion crisps just to try and not knock anybody out with the smell of drink.
throw off the scent, stink of cheese and onion, and not drink.
Yeah.
And would you ever have been one for, like, I'm hearing like these sorts of, oh, do this the night before so you don't get a hangover, but I don't see you being one of those lads, Paddy, taking into account like I'll have the fucking Panadol by the nightstand before I go to bed. I can imagine you just fucking let rip and deal with it in the next day.
You know, if you're going out, go out in style. Just like, unless if you're on a stag weekend, or you've probably been away on rugby weekends.
Yeah.
The next morning, it's maybe, let's say you're in a hotel, you're in a B&B, and in the package you're going to get your breakfast. So you meet, and lads there'll be Panadol scattered all over the tables for you to like as if it's some miracle cure.
Yeah. Does fuck all.
2 liters, 2 liters of water, 4 Panadol, a heap of sausages and rashers, and into the pub for round 2. So,
you'd be lucky to even get the water, to be honest, on a trip like that.
Yeah, there's been a few of them, been a few Hail Marys, all right, yeah.
Does that come to mind in terms of like stags or trips that you've been on that was like a standout one of your drinking career? Any particular place you went?
We've been pretty good with the lads I grew up with in Screen. Kind of when the football season would finish, we used to always have a mid-winter break. So either been to Newcastle maybe 2 or 3 times, Liverpool twice.
Yeah.
Went to Edinburgh. We've been to, where else did we go? Up to Belfast, down to Kilkenny. We went to Warsaw in Poland one year.
Yeah.
That was an experience. That was scary. Now I was working in the bank at the time, and I think there was about 12 or 14 of us were going. So obviously, dickhead here had to go and get the Polish zlotys for everybody, and so whatever. You might be looking to spend maybe about between 400 and 500 quid on your weekend, and getting these zlotys in through. We were going over there with, I think it was like 1 to 6, so you're getting about 3,500 zlotys for your holiday.
Yeah.
And you could not give these things away. We were trying. We did on the Saturday. We went Friday morning. Used to take Friday off work, fly out early Friday.
Oh, don't start. Just saying that, Paddy. Jesus Christ, unreal.
On the beer Friday, Saturday, good Saturday, and then home Sunday. And if lads were eager, you'd be coming home from the airport down to Screen, and we
into Mrs. O's.
Might get the taxi man to drop us in Gormley's in Garristown on the way home.
Right.
And that'd be it. End of, game over. 3 days on the beer. End of. But Poland and Warsaw now. That was, I wouldn't be recommending it unless I had a proper tour guide.
Yes, there's a look of being shook in your eyes as you remember back to it. It's just that.
Yeah, like they were just, we were looking for somewhere to have a few pints and then kind of ease your way into it. You're going into these places and it's just handing you raw vodka and just drink this, and
Yeah,
these big scary men and even scarier women just looking at you. Just
yeah. And you just
yeah.
want some pints, fucking gas. Um, right. Do a bit of GAA talk, Paddy. I'm gonna read a quote from when did you retire? As I was looking on Wikipedia, it's like abruptly retired. When was that?
Which year? I retired a few times.
um, well, when you, I have this quote: "When you think of the consequences, blah blah blah." When was that?
Yeah, that was November 2017.
Um,
So yeah, we've been beaten and knocked out of the championship in Navan in the summer by Donegal, and yeah, kind of sat with me that day leaving, that I wasn't going to go back. And then obviously in October, when the lads were meeting up to go back training again, just kind of had it out then, and said that I wasn't happy,
yeah.
didn't want to go back
Let me
basically, and
just
that was it.
read this quickly. When you think of the consequences of the incredible commitment levels required, you're losing so much of your life. Never mind the amount of evenings you're spending training and at the gym. It means you end up isolated from your friends, your family, and your club. And for what? How can you justify training 5 or 6 nights a week per 5 or 6 nights a week for 8 or 9 months of the year without a realistic chance of winning anything? I just can't do it anymore. That's something I've always said about the kind of me team, and I know plenty of lads on it, but I was always like, and it sounds so bitter from an outsider, but it's like, how do you do it when you just know you're, let's be honest, you're just not going to beat Dublin? Um, so what, like, was there much backlash off that? Did any of the lads like get in touch with you, or what was the crack?
I'd say there was a good few that were disappointed. Kind of that, fair enough. If you're going to walk away and keep your mouth shut. But
Yeah, but that wouldn't be you, Paddy.
yeah, it was an interview for that interview was actually done in about February or March the following year. So like I'd been away from the panel for about 4 months,
Yeah,
and I did the interview because I was part of like the AIB All Ireland, ambassador program in the bank,
yeah,
and we did an interview, a player interview, an employee interview, and that was just a question. He just said, why why did you leave the setup? Like what was it for you that left the setup? And that was the answer. The question could have been, can you tell me how good it was to play for Meath for 9 or 10 years? And it would have been a completely different answer and a completely different interview.
yeah,
But it was just a question that he asked, and that was the answer I gave. I gave him an honest one, and it was my honest feeling and opinion. A lot of people got it. A lot of people didn't. A lot of the diehard Meath people didn't get it. You know, Probably living off past glory, but still living in the present day with hope for the future, and hope that we can get back to somewhere being competitive for All Irelands and that sort of thing. So I'd say a lot of people were maybe a bit disappointed to hear it from somebody who had been playing week in, week out for, you know, 8 or 10 years on the team, and probably
yeah,
they were looking to me at, when was that, 17, 4 years ago. So I would have been 20, 27, 28, which would have been, for a goalkeeper, if you think Cluxton is almost 40,
yeah.
it would have been probably, I
Only
would have
getting
been
going.
getting near my peak in if
Yeah,
you get me. So that probably hit home with a good few people. But as I said, it was just the way the interview went and the question that
mm,
was put to me, and I gave it as honest as I could, and that was just it.
yeah,
I'd stand by it. It was my personal opinion, and that was it. Nothing
yeah.
more. I wasn't trying to insult anybody, but yeah, I just gave it what I was feeling.
Um, but yeah, I agree 100% with what you said. But like in terms of, I've always not really on the podcast too much, but in general with my mates and stuff, if you bring up the words GAA, drinking bans, I just go off because I've never understood them. I think I actually think they divide teams more than bringing them together. Like you said, when you went to fucking Australia, you went in the piss. Obviously, everyone's bollocks, probably not great for your body, but it does bring lads together. And I've been in GAA change rooms, I've been in rugby change rooms. Everyone was probably on the beer after the last match. Young lads could be 18, there could be a fucking 42-year-old, best having the crack telling stories. GAA change room, it's like young lads over here, older lads over there. They don't know each other, and there's no way they're gonna get to know each other because the only bonding they do is a fucking paintballing trip once a year, which, let's be honest, it doesn't compare to going on the piss with someone.
Yeah.
So like, was that not just drinking bans, like not just drinking, but was that sort of a factor where you're just a bit like, I'm not mad about the culture?
Yeah, I'd say I was probably to blame on a few of them cultural side of things in the past as well, where I may have snuck off on my own with a few lads and maybe broke protocol or broke guidelines or broke drinking bans and that. But exactly what you said. When you see the success that your team had, I know it was you played maybe in one of them town cup victories, did you? But Ashburn went on and won maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Was
yeah, we
there
won't go
was
on
there
about it too much, but yeah, just for reference. So there's kind of like in Ashburn, there's a GAA club and then rugby club, and the rugby club has not been bad, but has won a lot over the last few years, while maintaining a very strong drinking culture. And
culture?
the GA club has basically won fuck all, and having a very, I suppose, anti, like the normal GA crack drinking bans, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, like you said, it was that we were drinking the whole time, and yeah, we still got on grand. And at the end of the day, it's all amateur, so I just don't see why you would take it so seriously. Kind of going back to your fucking the quote I read, like it's like what I just can't do. You can't do it anymore. Like what is the point? You know?
Yeah, like was it TNP? Was it Thursday night pints? Was that a thing when you were playing?
TNC.
TNC,
That
Thursday
was
night club.
Thursday
Thursday
night
night club,
club,
yeah.
yeah. We always I sound like such an old lad, but we always tell the story. And anytime you say it to a GA player, they don't know. They're like, what? So yeah, it was a Thursday before we had a final on a Sunday, Thursday night club. Did it all year, Thursday night pints. Nothing mad, like, 6, 7 pints, whatever. And it was the Thursday night before that final, and we were like, what's crack, lads? Like, is Thursday night club on or what? And everyone was like, fuck yeah, it is. Went, and there was about 40 lads there because people had flown home and stuff for the final. And we had a few pints, and then we won the match on the Sunday. But yeah, it's just the difference is just, it's just unbelievable. I don't really know where it comes from, but yeah. The only other thing I was going to say about like the drinking bans and stuff, Paddy, and look, we're not, it sounds like, especially for me, like, I'm just shitting on GAA. Obviously, the GAA, unbelievable organization, great for this country, but it's just something. It's just the relationship the GAA has with drinking that just irks the shit out of me. And the only other thing I was going to say is, like, you would actually hear about, like, the kind of, what they got, like, selectors and some owl lads from the club being like sent around to put. I'm sure you're probably on the receiving end of this. Sneaky old cunts being sent around and like ratting back to the coach that Paddy O'Rourke was seen in Mrs. O's having a pint of Guinness on Saturday night. Like, who gives a flying fuck? That would just drive me up the fucking wall. And no wonder you kind of, the odd time you would have said, fuck this, I'm going on the piss with the lads. Like, what are the consequences? I might be dropped for a week and then I'll be fucking straight back in, you know?
Yeah, it was that's exactly it. Like in my last year, 2017, I had one of them incidents. We were beaten by Down up in Newry on I think it could have been the third game in the league, and we had been beaten by Kildare in the first game. So it was 2 defeats in 3 games, and that was it. Division Two was gone. We weren't going to qualify,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh. So Sunday came and got into the car. A few of the lads had picked me up, and they were like, right, 2 options. We go for lunch and we drop you home, or we go for lunch and we go for pints. And we went
Was
for
the match on the
option
Sunday or the Saturday?
Saturday. We had been beaten, and then this
So
was the
Saturday
next
night,
day.
you behaved yourself, went home.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, and it was
then
the next day. Okay.
Yeah, and we had a game the following Sunday.
All right.
I done the dog on it then on the Sunday, and like that, the next morning there was any amount of people could have told the manager where I was and who I was with and
Yeah.
what time I was there at, and I was there so early I got a seat at the bar and blah 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 blah. Anyway, the long and the short of it was like it was like a kid being sat on the bowl corner. You know, everybody was talking down to you and you shouldn't be doing this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that was earlier in the year in 2017, and that was it was a low point as well, but it was just kind of one of them things where I was like, do I really need this at 27 or 28 to be told? Yeah, but at the other end of the scale, there could have been, at that time of the year, there could have been 36 or 37 lads on the panel. So if one lad was going rogue, it'd be upsetting the whole squad. And it all comes back to that kind of thing with the rugby culture and with the culture when we were out here playing. Either everyone goes together and it's accepted, or no one goes, and we live that way. But that seems to be option number two nowadays, where nobody goes and they go 3 and 4 months without a drink, and then they go for a weekend away and drink for 3 days, and it basically undoes the work they did in the week leading up to it, and then the next week is a write-off because you're still aching and sore, your body is sore, then when you go back training on the Tuesday. Whereas if there's nothing in place, if you give lads the option of drinking every weekend, they'll get sick of it themselves anyway.
Yeah, but like you said, the bold corner, it's literally like they treat them as a bunch of fucking 5-year-olds. It's like, you cannot drink for 3-4 months, and if we see you, you're in big trouble. It's like, I'm a fucking 27-year-old man. If I want to go for a few pints, and the thing is, like, you mightn't even go. Look, you would and you wouldn't, but like, there'd be times where you literally go. The thing annoys me the most. You just want to go for like 5 creamy pints of Guinness and you'll go home and not bothering you, and you do that, and you're fucking the worst cunt in the world, and you're let down, and it just drives me mental. Like, and look, we know that if you go for the 5, it'll probably leave the fucking 25 more, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can actually go and just have 4 or 5 pints with your mates, and like you said, the fucking, when you're retired or whatever, you're isolated from your friends. It's like, Paddy, do you want to come to the pub? No, like, I can't be seen in the pub. Like, even if you're seen in the pub, you mightn't even be drinking. I just think it's absolute fucking bollocks.
That comes back to 2010. We won the championship in Meath with Screen, it was 6 years since we won it previously, and we had a manager in that year called Liam Harnan, who played centre back on all the great Meath teams in the late 80s. He was hardcore.
Is he Podge's farmer?
Uncle. Yeah, Podge's uncle. So he was hardcore, but he was straight and honest with everybody, and his motto was, there's no drinking ban, just the week before any important game, stay off the top shelf. And that
fucking love that. Stay off the top shelf.
Straight off the top. Stay off the top shelf was his motto. So
yeah,
like Tuesday and Thursday down in Screen, and Swanee, Alan Swan there in the pub was a selector, and we go in after training. It wouldn't be every Tuesday, it wouldn't be every Thursday. The odd Tuesday, the odd Thursday, you'd pop in on the way home from training like that. You'd have a couple of pints. Yeah. And Liam would do the same, and he'd sit, and there could be 5 or 6 of the lads.
And you're talking to your teammates, and you're talking about the training and how did it go, and if you're just going straight home, sure, you like, it's But then you talk about him, and he kind of would have played in the 80s and stuff. Some people mightn't know Colm O'Rourke, Uncle Colm. He would have played whatever, like 70s, 80s, 90s. Would you ever talk to him about like the differences between now and back in the day. Like obviously back in the day was totally different in terms of drinking and training and all, but would it come up often in conversation?
Oh, he can't believe, like, you live your life so stringently now. Like he
Yeah.
compares it back to Mead played Cork in an All-Ireland final in 1988, and it went to a replay. And they had a 2-week break in between the first final and the replay. And the weekend in between, Sean Boylan took them away on a training weekend. And he said they never had a session like it in their lives. They drank they drank beer until it came out their ears on the
Yeah.
Saturday night, and then got up on the Sunday morning, and every man to a man got up and trained, and they trained and trained and trained and trained, and they still, they still talk about that weekend in between that.
When men were men.
Men were men, and it broke all, the nerves after the game at the Sunday previous and the
Yeah.
game coming up, because at that time Meath and Cork absolutely hated each other, and that was it. They were just so pent up with frustration about playing each other that they wanted to go out and knock lumps off each other. So that was another thing, a little thing that Sean Boylan brought in, that he just brought them away and kind of knocked the top off them, as they say, and they went off and won the All Ireland the weekend after. But just imagine if a team did that now. And
I know, like the backlash off it all, like it's just, yeah. But anyway, Paddy, we will finish with a bit of quick fire and then I'll let you go. All right.
Perfect.
Favorite pub? I think I know.
Mrs. O's.
Fucking give me a different one.
Swans.
Swans
of Oberstown, not Swans Curraha. They're both great, but stick local.
Yeah, I don't think they really like me after my review there. But sure, listen. Best GAA player of all time. Can't say Trevor Giles.
Paddy O'Shea.
Paddy O'Shea. Good shout. Which is better crack, Sydney or Screen?
Depends if the sheep shearing competition is on in Screen, but it could be Sydney.
All right. Beer garden or cozy snug? You can only have one.
Snug.
Cozy snug.
Cozy snug.
You're definitely missing Mrs. O's. Bacon or scampi fries?
Scampi fries.
Good lad. It's funny. I would have thought it was like, I'm scampi fries, and I would have thought it was kind of 80-20 on the bacon side, but more and more people are saying scampi, so it could be closer to 50-50. Last question, Paddy. Fill in the blank. I am a blank drunk.
Obnoxious, ignorant, abusive.
Sounds fucking right to me, because we ran into each other plenty of times back in the day in the fucking TMF or whatever it was called, and there'd be headlocks and there'd be fucking pushing and all, but only a bit of crack. But yeah, fucking I'm probably the same, to be honest. Obnoxious, ignorant. It's the same, because we're both around the same height, and I'd often get mistaken for you, and it'd be like fucking just two big fucking donkeys basically. But anyway, lads, go give Paddy a follow on Instagram and Twitter, Pa O'Rourke 89. Paddy, as always, it's been a fucking pleasure.
Sláinte.
What was the 2 out of 10 for the extra stout?
2 out of 10, yeah. It's pretty dire.
And the Beamish is probably about a 4.5. Fucking shite as well. Right, Paddy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll do a snug episode whenever I get home, and we'll do it somewhere good, creamy pints. Yes,
Paddy. Keep dreaming. We'll talk to you
Cheers.
soon. Nice one, Paddy. And that is going to do it, lads. Again, massive thanks to Paddy, a good pal of mine. I feel like when you're listening, you can probably tell who are the people I kind of knew before, and then who are the people I'm kind of meeting for the first time on Zoom. I don't think it's ever been awkward, but sometimes you just like can have the crack a bit more with the people you know, because you kind of know their crack. But like I said at the start, lads, that is going to be it for Only Cans for a while. My thinking would be I'll probably bring it back, but it probably wouldn't be. It'll be more of a kind of possibly a YouTube thing, like, and maybe in a pub, be like, you know, the Guinness guru meets this person. We might have a couple of pints at the back of a pub in a beer garden or something. One thing again with the only cans, it's like, if I want to do it in person, I want to get a guest, say, to my house or something, and then you kind of, and they're drinking, you kind of have to organize like transport and stuff. Whereas if you could just meet them in like a pub in town or something, they could just get a taxi and stuff. So kind of small things that have just kind of played out, and you've kind of realized as it's gone on. So that's the crack for now, lads. Stay tuned to the Guinness Guru Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Come June 7th, we'll have some solid content for you, and we'll have some new merch, a few cool t-shirts coming in June as well, t-shirts and caps. So get on to gurumerch.com, grab yourself a t-shirt, grab yourself a hoodie if you want. And listen, lads, this is not the end. This is goodbye for now, eh? This is Slán and Sláinte for a little while, taking back Brainstorm. We'll come back stronger than ever. Thanks for listening, lads. We'll see you very soon.